Life is actually very, very quiet. It's just you have to get out of your own head first. And the reason why I say that is because, well, I think most people are so busy with life, so busy with the buzzing of life that they forget to just let it all take a back seat so they can just rest. Like so much of people these days, even myself included, I'm not excluded either. Like so much of people, including me, we spend so much of time trying to find out like what's right and what's wrong, how we should behave, how we should not behave, what's the problems that we need to fix, what's this that we need to fix, how can we improve, how can we not improve, how can we be happy, how can we be not happy, how can we do all of this shit, how can we not do this shit. It's like we spend so much of time trying to figure out and trying to figure out life that we just forget to we just kind of forget to live it. We just forget to exist because at the end of the day, we are just existing. And since we are existing, what we should be doing is just to exist. It's really not more complicated than that. Living life is just about existing. Yet we spend so much of time trying to figure out life, like how we should live, what are the things that we should do while we are living, like all of that. And how can we improve our lives and all of that. And I'm not dissing any of them. They are all great things, but sometimes we just have to sit back and just exist, And I think that's where true peace lies, in just simply existing, because then as you're existing, you're not really focusing on anything else, but you're just living life the way it was meant to be lived. And the funny thing is that it's very quiet, it's very peaceful. And the reason is because you're not trying to figure anything out, you're not trying to do anything in particular, you're just being present, and you're just being. You're just being like it almost feels natural to you, it's like when you were a child, like you weren't trying to figure out life, you were just playing around, looking at random things, finding it funny, and just all of that. Like I don't know if you can tell, but like I have a little sister, that's why like the entire bed is like, I'll show you. That's why the entire bed is like pink and all of that. She's like she's very young, she's like 1 year 4 months. And the very cute thing about like little babies, little children, is that they are not really trying to figure anything in life out, they are just existing. And it's very, very, like in a sense, it's very admirable to me, like as an adult. When I look at that, I'm like, holy fuck. Holy fuck, I used to be like that. I used to be so happy. I used to be like just existing, bro. But now since like I grown older, it's like, since I grown older, life has become more tough, like it has become more complicated. And since it has become a little bit more complicated, I have complicated everything, even the entire idea of existence. So now it's more harder to just exist, like how a child would do it. And that sucks because it kind of takes away, it does not, like, it takes away the childishness of a human being. It takes the childish innocence, the childish love, happiness. It takes away the child from the human, like the inner child in a sense. And that has its benefits, don't get me wrong, but I think the main disadvantage is that since you take away the child, you just, you can never like find true purpose and happiness. And I truly do mean that you cannot find true happiness and purpose. Because like without the child you cannot be, without that inner child, I'll refer to it as the inner child because it's more easier, but like without the inner child, like you can't really function as a, let's say, as a contempt adult, as an adult who's very satisfied with life and just happy. And the reason why I say that is because like when you are a child, you're not really worrying about trying to find a purpose or trying to be happy. You just already are. Like, sure, sometimes you're sad, sometimes you're angry, but most of the time you never worry about trying to find, you never worry about trying to find a purpose. It's just like there's this interesting intrinsic purpose that's already there, but as you grow you kind of forget about that because life gets complicated, and since you're still a child you can't really handle that yet, and you kind of forget about your purpose. You kind of delete it out of existence in a sense, and then as you grow older that child is completely vanished to a certain extent, and then the only thing that's there is just the adult version of you, and that's when like a lot of like your misery starts to like happen. It's because you don't have the child version of you to show you how to actually exist. So since there's no child version of you trying, like actually showing you how to exist, you try to find all of these other means to like exist. And that's why we spend so much of time trying to figure ourselves out instead of just being and existing in life. And it's very unfortunate. It really is unfortunate because life can be very peaceful at times. It really can. Yet, since we spend so much of time trying to do all of the things I mentioned before, we kind of miss it. And it's really sad. Because how much more satisfactory can your life be if you don't miss these things? If you actually just get up and exist and see the world for what it actually is instead of what you want it to be. Yeah. It's like I really don't have anything else to say. The only thing I can say is that just exist and have fun with it. Sometimes life may throw you a curveball and it might be tough. Okay? But I think even if you manage to exist throughout that hardship, then I think you're much better off than you were before, because being able to exist not just in peaceful moments but rather even in the hard moments, then that means you can exist more in peaceful moments than you can in harder moments. Therefore, I think it can enrich your life a little bit more. and eventually lead to a more satisfactory life. At least that's what I think. Well, anyway, that was the end of the video. Hope you enjoy.